Good evening, everyone. And I would say that this long intro would have given you that the CV should be short. Don't list down everything when you're going for a job or when any Infosys or any IT company comes to pick you up. A lot of this becomes irrelevant, like in my intro. A lot of the things by the time you were hearing it would have become boring and monotonous. But coming to the topic, coming to the theme that was given to us today, go beyond. Today at TEDxAKGEC, the theme is go beyond. What do you mean by that? For me, I define go beyond by three things, and I've abided by them throughout my life. This is the characteristic that I want each and every one of you to think about. First is motivation, second is communication, and third is behavior. I will sum it all up. Motivation, by going beyond, what are we trying to do? Are we trying to push us beyond our limits? Something that we try to do, strive for impact, achieve more than we possibly can? That is what go beyond means. For what? What do we require for that? First is motivation. Something that inspires you to do beyond the natural, go beyond the more. Communication that tells you to bridge between two gaps. Effective, the tool of communication to enhance the joining between the words and helping you communicate properly. And third, the behavior. What is your vision, your mission? How do you align yourself with the greater good? These are the three forces. Once, if you align these three forces together, you not only go beyond, you transform. Now, I'll take the example. First, motivation. The first act. It's very simple. As a kid, as someone, we are always being taught about rules, restrictions, regulations. I can do this, I can't do that. There's a boundary. Like, I am standing in the red circle. This is my boundary over here. If I do something extraordinary, I may be stopped. I have my colleagues, I have my peers, I have teachers, I have parents, I have so many people who have told us there should be a balance. There has to be a boundary, should not go beyond that. But that is contrary to what I believe. To get motivated, you need to think beyond these boundaries. If someone would have told Virat Kohli, Michael Phelps, Michael Jordan, Sachin Tendulkar that playing 14 hours of cricket a day is not going to do you any good, study भाई 12th में अच्छे नंबर लाने हैं नहीं एक ही जीसी में एडमिशन चाहिए या नहीं apart jokes apart the point being you need to have your set of teachers, your peers, your parents, your friends, your colleagues that tell you, that inspire you to be motivated. And for that, you need to be self motivated. How can you be self motivated? For me, the word self motivation is empowerment. There's a difference between empowerment and feeling empowered. Like, I give you a task, I say, you have complete freedom, you're empowered, do this in the best possible resources, using the least possible time, be giving us the maximum benefit. I am empowering you. But there's a difference that when I empower you and when you feel empowered. Feeling empowered happens only when you ask these three questions and if you get a yes to these three questions. The first is, can you do it? For you to do something, you need to be trained, you need to have the knowledge, you need to have the best possible reasoning to do that activity. If the answer is yes, yes, I can do it. The second question that comes, will it work? For that to work, you need to be knowledgeable. You need to have some data. You need to be available of some theory. You need to be aware of your surroundings. When you are aware that you can give the best possible outcome, if you are educated enough, then it can work for you. It's that gut feeling. Will that work for you? So the first thing when I said, can you do it? It's a training question. The second, will you be able to do it? It's an educational question. There's a difference between education and training. I hope you guys are aware about it. You know, each of us have passed out of school. I was educated in my kindergarten, then in my high school, in my middle school. In high school, I was given higher education. In college, I've been given undergraduation. But The difference comes when we are getting training. What is training? When we get empowered and when we move on to industry. We get feedback, we act upon the feedback, and then we move forward. This is training. Should I give you a simpler example of between education and training? All of us are taught sex education and not sex training. Hope you can now relate to the fact that what's the difference between education and training. We are educated but not trained. So, the first two questions, can you do it? Will you be able to do it? If the answer is yes, we want to do the third question. Is it worth it? The first was an educational training question. The second was an educational question. And the third is a motivational question. If the answer is yes to all three, then you're competent enough. And when you're competent enough, you are going to be self motivated because you know you're going to do the best possible outcome because you have competence. So ask these three questions to yourself, and you'll always be self motivated if the answer is yes. If you have that figured out, we move on to the second phase. We are now motivated. Now I require communication. All of you have come here to attend this great TEDx event. All of you go to college every day. Do you do that because it's mandatory? Because you will not be given marks if you don't attend, your grades will become low. You're going to get bonus points if you attend this, become an audience, or you are finding this as an opportunity. Each one of you, each one of us has an option every morning to switch on and wake up because of an alarm clock or because we have an opportunity clock. Everyone has an alarm clock, but we do that because we are communicating ourselves. Yaar, I need to do this, otherwise the college will fail me. I need to attend this, otherwise I will lose something. And there are some of us which communicate to each other that this is an opportunity. I will learn something that I won't get to learn in the near future. This is free for me. Probably this experience of someone who's sharing will benefit me. This is the communication that you need to do with yourself if you need to go beyond. How do I communicate myself with myself? Because I also feel dragged down a lot of times. Every time is not a silver lining. Every time is not I'm able to hit a six on every ball. So how do I communicate with myself? I communicate by the age old saying. I'm a very professional troublemaker. If this was a stage and if I was given a mic, I could be a stand up comedian and do good, proper roasting. But as a professional troublemaker, I am always like that uncle and auntie of your same. Are you can do it better. Are digra, kuch better karo na. This is not good. Try to make this better. Do this more faster. Make it more convenient. I'm always communicating this to myself and to every peer group around you. It may be annoying, but the purpose of that communication is always to go beyond. When I communicate that try and find a reason of why you can do this better, you will try and put that reason to yourself. Whenever we have asked this question, and whenever I ask this question to myself, I only have this one theory in mind. I like to be a domino. You understand a domino? Not the pizza. I will not give you an answer within 30 minutes. By domino, I mean the domino effect. If you've seen a domino effect, one domino falls, the other hundreds and thousands of it fall to make a beautiful pattern. You need to be the dominoes when you're communicating. Unless you are not the domino, you're not the first one to fall, you're not the first one to speak up, you will never be able to go beyond your own limits. I can give you beautiful examples. The hashtag #MeToo movement. One strong lady had the courage. She was the first domino to fall, and you can look what how the world moved beyond that. Similarly, I feel I am the domino in my life because I do all sorts of these crazy things. I've done bungee jumping, I've done skydiving, I've done cave diving, I've done spelunking, I've done shark diving, whatever you think of it. It's not about being crazy, it's about being the domino. I'm the first one to do it because the rest of one is scared. भाई पहले तू जा तू जिंदा बच जाएगा तो हम कर लेंगे तेरी रस्सी से तू ऊपर वापस आ जाएगा तो चल हम कर लेंगे. That is the domino I'm being talking about, that you need to be the domino to make that change, to go beyond. Going beyond, Everybody can be uncomfortable. Everybody is comfortable in this status quo. But what I'm wanting from you, what I'm asking you is be comfortable in being uncomfortable. Take that status quo out of it. If I have to summarize communication, which is my second characteristic, I would say in a world full of whispers, I choose to yell. That is my communication to you. Be the be in this room of whisperers. Be the first person to yell, and you will have your domino effect. That is the second act of going beyond. The third and final act, we have motivation, we have communication. The third and final missing ingredient, according to me, is behavior. Every one of us wants to have a very positive impact. Be positive all time around. Be a good behavioral person. Have that change. Even if we are failing, okay, we'll do something to pass. Even if we are not doing something well, even if we have pain in our legs, we'll motivate ourselves. We'll have that kind of attitude and behavior to go to the gym next day. We all have that thought. But what I have seen, one thing that drives behavior, and this is not me. I have seen this a tool that's being used by every one of us to incite behavioral change is fear. We want to change behavior with fear. Let me take an example for all of you. College going students, most of the people would smoke a year or half or even 10 of them. You see a very ghastly image on the cigarette box. Someone with throat cancer, lung cancer, or something. Does that fear stop you from smoking? No. And this is not me. Research, studies have constantly sold that if you want to drive change, if you want to if you want to change the attitude, make a behavioral change, fear is not the right tool, though it is the mostly used tool. तुम अगर नहीं करोगे तो थप्पड़ पड़ेगा. अगर तुमने कुछ गलत करा तो कुछ डरावना और आपके साथ होगा. This is a tool being used from age old by our parents and us and our teachers and everyone. This is the wrong mindset. To behave that behavioral change, you need to bring a positive impact. I'll give you another example. When all of us, say, have a common example, have hair problems. I'll give you a 50-50% chance. I can become bald or I can not become bald. There's a 50-50% chance. But now there are two options. There's an expert A, which I bring in. He says that your chances of losing your hair is 40%, which is good. He's giving me a better picture of my future. And then there's an expert B, which says that my chance of losing hair is 60%, which is a bleaker picture, saying that I might lose my hair. But my brain will tell me that focus on expert A. Focus on the positive outcome. That my chances of losing hair is not that much. I will probably have my hair. This is what my brain is constantly telling. Focus on the positive impact. The true example is this Instagrammable world that we live in. Everybody is thin, everybody is beautiful, everybody goes for foreign trips, everybody is going to music concerts. Education is available through WhatsApp. This is the positive impact that our brain is telling you that everyone's like that, which is not true. What we need to focus on is the positive outcome and not the decline to become behavioral change. So for this, I did a very small exercise in my IVF centers, a very simple thing. As all doctors and all clinicians, whenever we see patients, we have to sanitize and wash our hands. But how many of us were actually doing that? Probably not a lot. So I told I'm going to install a camera and I'm going to see how many of you are going to do that. I did that, and consequently, within a week, the outcome was only 10%, or 1 or 2 out of 10 were constantly sanitizing or washing their hands, and the rest lost interest. So I did another thing. What should I do? I installed an electronic board, and that time, everyone that used to wash their hands with their name and the amount of time they've done that during the day and throughout the week was shown. Boom. 90% compliance was there. Why? Because three things that for me now being that behavioral change. First is the societal aspect. Everybody of us wants, we are social animals. We live in a society. We want us to be heard and to be seen. When I did that, I made that possible. Second, immediate rewards. Whenever you're washing, when there was no reward earlier, they had no incentive. The immediate gratification that was brought, the immediate scene that they was doing, they were able to do that. It's very similar to us saying, I like to eat butter chicken, but I want to be thin. But will that butter chicken make me fat within the day? No, I'll still eat it. It's like me telling you, keep smoking cigarettes, you'll get cancer. You won't believe that because it will take a long point of time. Unless I see that immediate rewards, I would not get to stop that behavioral change. And the third and final is progress tracking. Societal rewards, instant gratification, and progress tracking. If you have all these three, you will get that behavioral change. So, each and every one, we go beyond with motivation, communication, and behavior. Trust yourself to do beyond than you normally can and fuel yourself with energy. That is motivation. Go beyond with communication by aligning yourself with other people's thoughts and bridging your mind with the utmost clarity. Go beyond with behavioral change by thinking of a vision where you see yourselves. Once you have all these, once you have all these things thought beyond, there is nothing else to go beyond from. You have reached to your pinnacle, and that's the maximum you can go beyond to. Thank you.